Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Everyday English with Johnny, your favorite podcast for mastering English with fun and practical tips. I'm your host, Johnny, and I'm super excited to be joined by my amazing co-host, Rose. Hey, Rose.
Hey, Johnny. Hi, listeners. I'm thrilled to be here for today's episode, where we're diving into a super practical topic: how to memorize new words smartly. If you've ever struggled to remember English vocabulary or forgotten words right after learning them, this episode is for you.
Absolutely. Building a strong vocabulary is key to speaking English confidently. But let's be real, it can feel like a challenge. Have you ever spent hours memorizing a word list only to blank out a week later? Don't worry, we've all been there. And today we're sharing smarter, easier ways to make those words stick.
That's right. By the end of this episode, you'll know why forgetting words happens, how to avoid common mistakes, and, most importantly, fun, effective strategies to memorize vocabulary and use it naturally in conversations. So grab a notebook or just listen along and let's get started.
All right, Rose, let's kick things off by talking about why memorizing new words can be so tough. What are some common challenges you've seen?
Great question, Johnny. One of the biggest issues is learning words without context. Many learners try to memorize long lists of words in isolation, like random flashcards with no meaning attached. It's like trying to remember a string of numbers. It just doesn't stick.
So true. Without context, words feel abstract and forgettable. Another big problem is overloading the brain. Some learners try to cram 50 or 100 words in one sitting, thinking they'll master them all, but that's overwhelming and leads to burnout.
Exactly. Cramming might work for a quiz, but for long-term memory, it's a no-go. Your brain needs time to process. Another challenge is lack of repetition. Learners often study a word once and expect it to stay in their memory forever. But without regular review, those words fade fast.
It's like planting a seed. You can't water it once and expect a tree to grow. Consistent care is key. Another issue is not using the words. If you don't speak or write with new vocabulary, your brain has no reason to hold on to it.
Spot on. And one more challenge: relying too much on translation. Some learners translate every English word into their native language, which slows them down and makes it harder to think in English naturally.
That's a big one. Translation can help at first, but it creates a mental barrier over time. Let's recap these challenges. 1. Learning words without context. 2. Cramming too many words at once. 3. Not reviewing words regularly. 4. Not using words in real life. 5. Over-relying on translation.
Nailed it. Now that we know the hurdles, let's share smart strategies to overcome them and make vocabulary stick for good.
Okay, Rose, let's get to the good stuff. Smart ways to memorize new words. What's the first strategy you'd recommend?
Contextual learning is key. Instead of memorizing words on their own, learn them in sentences or stories. For example, if you're learning curious, don't just memorize the definition. Use a sentence like, "The cat was curious about the box." Seeing the word in action makes it meaningful and memorable.
Love that. You can even make your own sentences or find examples in articles or shows. The more context you see a word in, the better. Another strategy: visualization and association. Create a mental image or link the word to something familiar.
For instance, if you're learning glorious, picture a glorious sunset or a winning moment like standing on a stadium podium. That vivid image sticks better than a dictionary definition. Or, for gentle, imagine petting a soft kitten. Personal connections make words unforgettable.
So powerful. Next up, spaced repetition. This is a science-backed method where you review words at increasing intervals, like 1 day, then 3 days, then a week. It reinforces memory without overwhelming you.
Apps like Anki or Quizlet make spaced repetition easy by scheduling reviews for you, but you can also do it manually. Write down new words and revisit them every few days until they're locked in. It's like watering that vocabulary plant regularly.
Another must-do: use words in real-life situations. Speak or write with your new vocabulary daily. If you don't have a conversation partner, talk to yourself. Describe your day using new words or write a short journal entry.
Using words makes them part of your active vocabulary. For example, if you learn optimistic, say, I'm optimistic about my English progress. Even mistakes are okay. They're part of learning. Consistency is what counts.
Let's recap these strategies. 1. Learn words in context with sentences or stories. 2. Use visualization and association for vivid connections. 3. Practice spaced repetition for long-term retention. 4. Use words daily in speaking or writing.
These make learning smarter, not harder. Next, let's spice things up with fun ways to memorize words, because learning English should be enjoyable.
Johnny, learning vocabulary doesn't have to feel like a chore. Rose, what's a fun way to make memorizing words exciting?
Word association games are a blast. Take a new word and link it to as many things as you can. For example, if you're learning vibrant, think of vibrant colors like a rainbow, a lively party, or a glowing firework. The more connections, the better it sticks.
That's so creative. You can play this alone or with friends to make it a challenge. Another fun technique is storytelling. Create silly stories using your new words. The weirder, the better.
Totally. If you're learning colossal, make a story about a colossal elephant who accidentally sat on a tiny village. Funny stories are hard to forget, and they make learning a joy.
Another cool one, vocabulary scavenger hunts. Challenge yourself to find new words in books, movies, or even signs around you. For example, watch an English show and jot down 5 new words, then use them in your own sentences later.
That's like a treasure hunt for words. Another fun method, karaoke. Pick an English song, learn the lyrics, and sing along, paying attention to new vocabulary. Music makes words stick, plus it's great for pronunciation.
I'm already imagining our listeners belting out their favorite tunes. Next up, role-playing. Pretend you're in a situation like ordering at a cafe or shopping and use your new words. For example, use bargain in a sentence like, "Can you give me a bargain on this shirt?"
Role-playing is so immersive and low pressure. You can even do it alone, in front of a mirror, acting out different scenarios. Another fun idea, word quizzes. Create mini quizzes for yourself with definitions or sentences, then test your memory weekly to track progress.
And one more, comics or cartoons. If you like drawing, make a comic strip with your new words, or read English comics online. The visuals help reinforce meaning while keeping it light and fun.
Let's recap these fun techniques. 1. Word association games for creative connections. 2. Storytelling with silly, memorable plots. 3. Vocabulary scavenger hunts in media or real life. 4. Karaoke to sing and learn new words. 5. Role-playing to practice in fun scenarios. 6. Word quizzes to test and track progress. 7. Comics or cartoons for visual reinforcement.
These make learning feel like a game, keeping you motivated and engaged. Next, let's talk about common mistakes to avoid when memorizing words.
We've shared smart and fun ways to learn vocabulary, but let's talk about pitfalls to steer clear of. Johnny, what's a common mistake learners make?
Learning words in isolation. Memorizing a word without context, like just a definition, makes it hard to use in real life. Instead, learn words in sentences or stories to understand their meaning and usage.
So true. Another mistake, cramming. Trying to learn dozens of words in one sitting overwhelms your brain. It's better to learn a few words deeply with spaced repetition than to cram and forget.
Exactly. Next mistake, focusing only on definitions. Knowing what a word means isn't enough. You need to know how to use it in conversations or writing. Practice with example sentences to see how words fit in context.
Another big one, not reviewing regularly. If you don't revisit words, they'll slip away. A consistent review, like with spaced repetition, keeps them fresh in your memory.
And don't fear mistakes. Some learners avoid using new words because they're scared of getting it wrong, but mistakes are how you learn. Try using the word, even if it's imperfect. It's better than not trying at all.
Finally, avoid sticking to basic words. Once you're comfortable with simple vocabulary, challenge yourself with more advanced words to expand your range and sound more fluent.
Let's recap these mistakes to avoid. 1. Learning words in isolation. Use context. 2. Cramming too many words. Learn in small chunks. 3. Focusing only on definitions. Practice usage. 4. Not reviewing regularly. Use spaced repetition. 5. Fearing mistakes. Embrace them as learning. 6. Sticking to easy words. Challenge yourself.
Avoiding these pitfalls will make your vocabulary learning more efficient and effective. Now let's wrap up with tips to stay motivated on your vocabulary journey.
Learning new words is a marathon, not a sprint, so staying motivated is key. Rose, what's a tip to keep learners inspired?
Set small, achievable goals. Instead of aiming to learn 100 words a week, try 5 to 10 words and use them in sentences. Small wins build confidence and keep you going.
Love that. Another tip, track your progress. Keep a vocabulary journal or use an app to see how many words you've learned over time. Seeing your growth is super motivating.
Absolutely. Also, mix up your methods. Switch between flashcards, role-playing, and karaoke to keep things fresh and fun. Variety prevents boredom.
And connect with a community. Share your new words with friends, join an English learning group, or comment on our social media. Learning with others makes it more exciting and keeps you accountable.
Let's recap these motivation tips. 1. Set small, achievable goals for steady progress. 2. Track your growth to stay inspired. 3. Mix up learning methods for variety. 4. Connect with a community for support.
These tips will keep you pumped to grow your vocabulary. Now, let's wrap up with a final recap and challenge.
Wow, Johnny, we've packed so much into this episode. Let's do a quick recap of how to memorize new words smartly.
We started with the challenges of memorizing words, lack of context, cramming, not reviewing, not using words, and over-relying on translation. Then we shared smart strategies like contextual learning, visualization, spaced repetition, and using words daily.
We also explored fun techniques like word association games, storytelling, scavenger hunts, karaoke, role-playing, quizzes, and comics. Plus, we covered mistakes to avoid like cramming or fearing errors and tips to stay motivated with goals, tracking, variety, and community.
Here's your challenge, listeners. Pick one strategy or fun technique from today and try it this week. Maybe make a story with 5 new words or sing along to an English song. Share your experience in the comments. We'd love to hear how it goes.
And a final message, learning vocabulary is about consistency, not perfection. Every word you learn brings you closer to fluent English. Keep practicing, have fun, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. You've got this.
Thanks for tuning in to Everyday English with Johnny. If you love this episode, please like, share, and subscribe for more tips to master English. Drop a comment with your favorite vocabulary tip or join us on social media for extra resources. Links are in the show notes.
Until next time, keep learning, keep speaking, and keep growing your vocabulary. See you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone. Stay smart and keep shining.
Bye for now.